皆様、本日は弊社のイベント。
Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining us for Cloudforce Japan. I'm in charge of Marketing Cloud. My name is Kato. How do you do? In this session, we will be talking about the latest information about the Marketing Cloud. And also, we would be going into the specific demonstrations of our product as well. Also, in the latter half of this session, we have two guests from overseas. And we would talk about how the Marketing Cloud would be deployed in Japan in the future. And by the Marketing Cloud, how would the agencies and the marketers work, be impacted within the enterprise? And we'll be having a Q&A session with all of these perspectives in mind. Before we go into the session, there is a big social command center in this facility on the ground floor. Have you seen this? What is this cloud command center? The Marketing Cloud technology is in use at this command center. So what are they specifically doing? We have Sharp Cloudforce, and then we have the hashtag for Twitter. And using this hashtag, the Twitter's tweets will be analyzed in a way that's easy to understand so that these are projected onto the screen. So please hashtag Cloudforce so that you will be able to talk about how fun this is or the Marketing Cloud is the best. All of these tweets would be displayed real time. And also with regard to this command center, it's not only for these events. It's a product that we offer. It's not about proposing these solutions and products, but for example, if you have multiple numbers of screen within the enterprise, and if you set up this command center within the enterprise, you would be able to get a know-how about the brand, the competitors, and the industry. What is being discussed on the social media, all of these will be at your fingertips as an information. So that's what the social command center can do and accomplish. So with the Sharp Cloudforce, I hope that you will be able to participate in all of these conversations. And now we would like to go on into my session. This is a safe harbor. If you've already been to the previous sessions, you've seen this already. With regard to the contents that we offer, there are some future information. So there are some uncertain information that might be included into these presentation contents. So I hope that you will be able to give us your kind understanding through the safe harbor. Now, customer company. From the keynote this morning all the way until this session, I believe that you've been able to get an understanding about the product and the case studies. I hope that you have been able to get a feeling that the enterprises are going in a completely new directions. The cars would be tweeting, and there is going to be a stronger link between enterprise and the staff. And by using the power of the social, there is going to be a new way of collaboration. For example, let's take call center. Call center will use FaceTime, and we'll be able to have a communication on a real-time basis with the customers. The supporting method and the sales method and the way people work and the way that the collaboration is done is changing dramatically. The marketing will also change. In the Marketing Cloud, I would like to talk a little bit about the background and the history of how Marketing Cloud came to be in the state that we have today. Communication is market, and the marketing is at a turning point. In the conventional method, there were strong contents. The one strong content will be created, and the TV commercials, the magazines, online, the banner ads will all carry this. And we would wait for the response from the customer so that we will be able to measure the effectiveness. And also, there was a limited number of media that these can be deployed on. That was the past. So what will happen in the future? In the future, dialogue is going to be more important, and all of the communications will be bidirectional, and there will be numerous media, including the touch devices. We need to utilize this in order to send out the marketing message to everyone. And as all of you are aware of, right now, the customers are attracted more and more to social. Let's take a look at this graph. This is about the Facebook fans' growth on the Facebook. It's growing by 123%, but the web access number is decreasing. And also social conversation regarding the services or the brands or about the product. On the social media, there is an explosion of the increase in the social conversations about the brand. We are at the time of transformation. To grasp and talk to the customer needs to change from the conventional style now. In the conventional days, the email addresses, tens of thousands of emails are owned, and therefore you can contact that many people, and there's going to be a lot of addresses that's registered into the cell phones. This is not going to be enough in order to grasp and become aware of the customers these days. Why? Because each person have their own distinguishable faces. It might be on mobile, and through numerous touch devices, and through these devices and through a lot of the social media, individual would be posting information and will be receiving information, and there is a complex connection. For an enterprise, there is an opportunity to give birth to something new. Listening to the social voices is something that we are now capable of. And also, once we listen to them, for example, if someone says that the air conditioner has broken down, I want a personal computer, through these comments, we will be able to grasp an insight and will be able to lead to a timely communication. We will lead it to an action. And also, we will be able to establish the relationship with the customers and deepen that. And the social relationship can become transformed into a relationship with the customers. Having said that, though, a bidirectional communication, yes, that's important. The social, yes, it's important. The conversation, yes, it's important. But it might be tough to actually implement them. Why is it? This is the reason. The current organization is not built in order to be social ready. For example, if there's a marketing department. And if there is going to be a product division, then there might be HR divisions. So right now we have a siloed organization. But the customers and the social media users are connected in an organic way. And right now, even if there is going to be a communication trying to be built, it's difficult to do that. And also the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitters. There are enterprises that say that they have been able to embrace it well. But when we listen deeply, it is going to be deployed in multiple numbers of departments. And therefore, social communication to a single individual that might be sent out from multiple numbers of departments, and therefore there's a confusion. And let's take a look at social marketing. How much has that contributed to the revenue? How much did it contribute to conversion rates? From the cross-functional method, cross-functional way, it might be difficult to analyze what the contribution was from the CEO and CMO's perspective, and that leads to one question. And this also is a request from our customers themselves as well. All social marketing activities, can we manage that on a single platform? In order to answer to this question and request, we have purchased two companies. One is Radian6. This is the #1 company in social listening industry. And the second company is Buddy Media. This is the #1 company in social marketing industry. Radian6. It responds to 17 languages, and globally, what kind of conversations are done regarding the company's brand that can be grasped immediately, and at an appropriate time you will be able to communicate to those customers. So this is the platform. Going on to Buddy Media, multiple numbers of social channels, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you'll be able to have one original brand, and through that we will have the content calendar, and on a set schedule we'll be able to post it automatically. So in terms of content, it is a very strong product.
今回この
And these two companies are now integrated into one platform, and that was launched as Marketing Cloud from Salesforce. So the first social marketing and the social listening, the platform. So you can take an action, changing what you heard from the conversations to you can turn them into actions. And there are 6 key points that are integrated into this platform. So social listening is real-time listening to what social media are talking about, and social contents, so brand pages and the information that is needed for social communication you can create, and the engagement. You can have a real-time conversation with the customer, and like Facebook advertising, there should be various types of social advertisings, and it should be connected to the other social functionalities. And you can find the prospects based upon the conversation, and it can be taken into CRM. And the last part is measurement. So if you do social marketing, then what kind of performance the social marketing could bring about, you have to measure. And these 6 elements, important elements, are all integrated into Marketing Cloud. And the Marketing Cloud has already established a leading position in other countries. So more than half of Fortune 500 companies have already adopted this Marketing Cloud, and among 10 largest advertisers in the world, the 8 have already adopted this. And not only B2C, but the social is all about humans, so you can use it for B2B and B2C, and there are more than 3,000 companies that are using our Marketing Cloud. And the Commonwealth Bank was discussed in a keynote speech. And we would like to share more information about Commonwealth Bank. So this is the largest Australian bank, and they have 4,500 employees, and their sales are more than $38 billion. And they're utilizing Facebook. So I'd like to show you the video of Commonwealth Bank.
One of our principal building blocks for our social enterprise. It enables us to create the collaboration platform, the social platform on which the business can run. So it's a really remarkable story just of an institution that is part of the fabric of Australia. We are one of the first banks in the world to have a real-time banking core. So, you can extend this new world to anyone, anywhere, anytime.
It's as simple as making an instant decision to buy a house. You hold your phone up to the house, you get all the statistics. We're compiling all the information we know about you and say, here's the loan, you're approved.
If you look at the integration of that social tool set across the enterprise, what Chatter enables is this ability for the narrative of the business to be captured and shared, and for people to turn every communication into a social communication on their own device. That is enormously powerful.
Social media is a reflection of the current technology of how gregarious human beings are. We want to be networked, we want to be in the loop, we want self-referential information.
We started out on Facebook with absolutely no idea of what would happen next. What we found is that it is probably one of the most effective marketing platforms in the market today for us. Radian 6 is what we're now using to underpin sort of the pillars of execution for us in Facebook. It surfaces the conversation and it gives you the opportunity to change the customer experience and make the customer experience personal and really, really relevant fast. Our relationship with customers is a reasonably straightforward one. You give me something that you don't even trust yourself with, that you really value, and I promise to give it back to you at any point in time in a better state than you gave it to me in. And if you think about it, it's a similar thing for Salesforce. You give me your most precious asset, your customer data. I promise to look after it better than you can, and I'll give it back to you with insights wrapped around it, connected to social. That's the magic of it, right?
We're using these new electronic means to emulate the real-time conversation that you would have once had with your banker. And if we can bring back some of that intimacy and connect people, then we've brought back the very essence of trust, transparency, and value.
The thing to understand, I think, about all these social technologies is they have to act in service of a bigger strategy.
So it's really simple. It's not about technology. It's actually about what the customers need to make their lives better.
We're absolutely smashing the walls down between the enterprise and the world, and we're bringing that same spirit that 20 or 30 or 40 years ago might have stood between the local branch manager and their community. Salesforce and CBA together, we're going to change the way banking happens.
So what you saw is about the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and they are using very sophisticated social technology. And they are using the various channels, the Facebook and Twitter and the mobile channels. But not only that, the use of these channels, but they are trying to provide the better service and a high level of service. And almost all the banks in the world are not providing round-the-clock service. However, Commonwealth Bank is doing that. And also, they can provide any kind of information about pricing from if you ask the price from mobile application. And also, the mortgage loan application or a mortgage the loan, the information is not given based upon the mobile applications. But in the case of Commonwealth Bank, they said yes, and they are providing such information to mobile as well. So based upon this story of a Commonwealth Bank, I'd like to show you a demonstration of Marketing Cloud. Could you please switch? So as a marketing representative of Commonwealth Bank, I'm logging into their platform. So the chatter that makes enterprises social enabled, the production team inside the company and the creative team inside the company can communicate each other. And if the campaign that you are running right now is receiving good reaction, then you can be informed of the successful performance of that application or campaign, and the application will talk to you saying that 80% of the achievement or target has already achieved based upon this campaign. And from this homepage, you can access any kind of social applications. So listening and engagement and social advertising and effectiveness measurement and so on. So So it is structured to be able to get all the information that you need about social. So looking at the Facebook page, we would like to get into each tab. So looking at the content page, you can see these different channels, and Facebook and YouTube, and your own channel is also presented. And let's use editing mode of Facebook. So looking at this page, there is a very complicated search functionality or questionnaire, or the YouTube replay functions can be embedded using just a few clicks. And it is also very easy for a marketing representative to create this kind of page. And you want to run the same campaign for mobile. So let's check about the mobile layout for this campaign. So by just clicking once, you can see how this campaign can be presented on the mobile phone. So horizontal or the vertical or the both display or screen can be used. And contents application can provide this kind of functionality. And I'm a marketing representative of Commonwealth Bank, and I think this campaign is going well. However, how can I prove that, and how can I measure the effectiveness of this campaign? People are saying this campaign is good or bad. So let's move on to listening functionality.
Now we will be able to collect all of the responses from here, but it seems that there is a spike here. And let's do a deep down, and we'll go through the sentiment analysis, whether it be positive or negative, and what kind of target is responding. The demographics can be drilled down as well. So let's take a look at the successful campaign. So we'll do a deep dive of a successful one. It seems like a home loan campaign seems to have a good response. So what is happening? So let's take a look at this home loan campaign. Let's do a deep dive of that. There's a high number of impressions and comments and likes and clicks. The content was it was on a new application. You will be able to register for a home loan on iPhone, and we had this video on the Facebook, and they responded well. But let's take a look at the top. We'll take a look at the reach into the fan. Only 10% the penetration into the fan of the Commonwealth banks. So there's a challenge there. So as a person in charge of marketing, what should we do? This content seems to be working well, so we get that insight based upon all of these. So this story, the successful story, so we will make this into an advertisement so that we will be able to amplify the response. So we would make this into an ad. We'll go into the social ad application. The mobile seems to have a good response, so we would purchase the mobile ad. Let's go on. And this is the Marketing Cloud. And we have a strategic alliance with Facebook, so we will be able to utilize a very targeting functionality called Insight by Facebook. So this content would be sent over to an appropriate target, and we would set that up. Furthermore, Marketing Cloud has an optimization engine. So against a budget, we will set a target, and we will try to set the target within the budget. And if that is done, then we will be able to have a 20% additional budget if we will be able to achieve that target under the initial budget. And we would try to not to lose on the reach opportunity. And through these objectives, we will be able to utilize this optimization engine. Now let's review this, confirm on the content, and we would be posting this as a mobile feed on Facebook. So through this, we will be able to instantly purchase the mobile ads. So all of these process that you've witnessed, creating the contents that is social aware, and we'll be able to go through the social listening about the response, and we would extract out the successful ones and turn that into an ad. So that was a process that you've seen. These processes were fragmented in the past. Within the process, there was a different application, and there were different person in charge and had to go through the response. That was the past. But the Marketing Cloud is an integrated platform. All of these processes can be connected and will be able to have a single platform. And based upon the sentiment of the marketers, will be able to deploy. So that is a big value that we will be able to provide. So let's take a look at this campaign. Let's take a look at the response. With regard to using the effectiveness measurement application, you will be able to understand the media's response at your fingertips, paid and earned media. Not just but you will also be able to go through the social marketing's result, and we will be able to convert them. Application download numbers and the new customer acquirement and the new loan application numbers. Through all of this, we'll be able to see how each contributed to the goal and the target. They will be able to comprehensively measure this. So that is the functionality of the effectiveness measurement. As you've seen, from social listening to content creation to creating it into a social ad and measure the effectiveness. For a marketer, it's very easy to use and it is a very high value. The power of social is at its core. That's Marketing Cloud. That is all of the demonstration for this product. Using this Marketing Cloud, the Commonwealth Bank has deployed these activities. So that we have pointed out the 6 points, and I would like to go through them one more time. One is social listening. Marketing Cloud is linked as an official partner with Facebook and Twitter. So for Twitter, all of the tweets that's open, we'll be able to read through them on a real-time basis, and also we will be able to do a real-time analysis and lead it into action, an insight that can be actionable. And here, let's say that someone says that I've lost my key. There's more than 500 tweets as such. So against these comments, let's say that there is a geolocation functionality. For example, if you will be able to tweet it with a geolocation information. And if a locksmith will be able to find that information, then through Twitter, this locksmith will be able to respond instantly. So that is a possibility that is coming out from social listening. Next is social content. Multiple numbers of social applications, meaning that there will be multiple functionalities that can be embedded. We already have more than 50 of them. So the marketers, all they have to do is to use this and deploy these applications, and will be able to strengthen the contents. And also from the ad agencies and from the client perspective, we will be able to go through conversations with the third parties, and through the approval processes, we'll be able to realize a collaboration of working as a team. Next is engagement. Marketing Cloud is a very strong social content calendar. And so the automatic posting functionality can be used. And with this, multiple social media can be managed by a single person, and also will be able to deploy the contents to the multiple numbers of channels. Social ad. As you've seen, the contents that had a high response can be deployed as an ad. And by doing so, you would be able to amplify the responsiveness and will be able to expand the reach. This is completely different from the conventional ad. and also linking to CRM. While you're going through the social listening, and if there is an interest in the Marketing Cloud or would like to purchase a Salesforce product, if there is going to be the social post as such, then we will be able to include that automatically into our CRM database. So what would happen next? The call centers and the salesperson, these people will be able to go through the social profiling, whether it be the Facebook and the Twitter account can be checked, so that these people will be able to appropriately approach these prospects. Next is effectiveness measurement. Like you've seen, how many increase in the fans were there? How many increase in the Twitter followers were there? Not only that, but with regard to the campaign that's running, how much contribution is it making to the business? We'll also be able to measure the conversion itself as well. So based upon the indicator, we'll be able to have the insight. You also will be able to optimize the marketing campaigns themselves. From social listening to the content, engagement, ad, linkage, and to the measurement. So these are the 6 social marketing. And by deploying this, the needed applications can be provided through the Marketing Cloud. And now we would like to go on into the Q&A, inviting our guests from overseas. First, we have Mr. Charlie Wood. He is the Area Vice President for the Marketing Cloud.
Thank you, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
ではチャーリーにはこのマーケティングクラウドが日本でどのような展開を
So to Charlie, I would like to talk a little bit, ask a little bit about what you think about the Marketing Cloud future in Japan.
Charlie, what is the launch plan of Marketing Cloud for Japan in especially 2012-13 next year?
Sure. I've got a couple of slides, so is it okay if I share those with you?
All yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Kato-san. So about a year ago, I was lucky enough to be here in Tokyo at Cloudforce Tokyo. And I come from the Radian6 side of the business. As Kato-san said, the formation of the Marketing Cloud was a combination of Radian6 and Buddy Media at an investment north of $1 billion. And a year ago, in December of 2011, we came along and we announced the availability of Radian6 here in Japan. It was just our first step. So this last year has all been about exploration. It's been about understanding the market here in Japan and understanding the global needs of Japanese businesses as they go about this evolution through to being a social business. So what I'd like to share with you today is just very quickly just a couple of slides about the progress that we've made this year, the progress and the path and the journey and the roadmap for the next year ahead, and really why this is important to us as well as is important to the customers that we serve in Japan. So first of all, I just want to announce that part of what we're doing as bringing these tools together as under the umbrella of Salesforce is we're moving to this cadence. And you see on this slide 6 releases a year. Now this is great for a market like social and social engagement because it allows us to incrementally innovate every couple of months. We can put something new into the platform. We can evolve the platform to the needs of the business and to the needs of our customers here in Japan. So throughout the year of 2013, we're going to have 6 major milestone releases. And we foresee that in each one of these releases, there'll be something very, very specific for the Japanese market. So a couple of things that are very specific. In the background throughout this year, we've learned a lot about how to deal with Japanese language and natural language processing in native Japanese. At the guts inside of the Radian6 business, what we do is we help our customers deal with the big data problem of the social web. So being able to segment and understand and from a semantic point of view, analyze the data of the Japanese market, that's been really important. So over this last year, we've been releasing fine-tunings to the way that we understand data. And one of these things has been being able to separate signal from noise. How do you separate spam from real customer conversations? And these releases are happening all the time in the background. And quite recently, we've just improved that for our customers. So the next thing, you heard this morning in the keynote where George Hu announced and Mark also announced an investment in local companies. So very important for us is not only the major social networks, Facebook and Twitter, but also the long tail as well, the blogs, the forums, the country-specific places. So we've made an investment in a Japanese company as a leading aggregator of social media data, which is Hotolink. Now, as part of what we do and we evolve, data, language, and coverage becomes even more important for us. So pulling this data from Hotolink into our platform places us in a very, very strong position as being the leading social media analytics provider for Japan. And part of that investment is not only just in companies locally, but it's also in people as well. So throughout this journey, we have local R&D that covers data, language, and coverage in Asia. He's sitting over there. That's cool. But also, we're going to be expanding the team here, not just in business development, but in customer success as well. Because as we evolve the product, we need to localize the products as well. There'll be more on that later. So the other part of what we are going to be announcing today, and Kato-san's going to talk a little bit more about this later on, is how do we segment data? How do we contextually understand data? And for this, we have something called an insights platform. Now, one of the key things that we will be doing this year as well, throughout this 6-release cadence, is localizing the product, is bringing the product to market with a local Japanese user interface. Now, during 2013, as we develop the platform and the platform becomes the joint marketing cloud, and Buddy Media and Radian6 become a single platform, just as Kato-san in the demo just showed you, then one of our major priorities, in fact, our top priority during 2013 is localization, and our highest on our list is Japan. So sometime in the year to come, we'll be bringing out every part of the components around the product and localizing in Japanese. Now, around the team that we're going to be building here is not just in business development and customer success. These are the folks very much the heart and the core of the way Salesforce does business, that look after our customers and make sure that the tools and the platforms that we provide derive value for customers. But we're also going to be bringing along somebody called social architects. Now, these are people that are going to help you with the strategy to deploy this. They're going to help build this into the core of your business operations and your connections with your customer. Okay. Just want to move on to the next slide. So, announcing today as well, so not only the investment with Hotolink, but also bringing into the Insights platform a company which belongs to one of the density groups of companies called Cyber, CCI. Now, this company helps us segment data. And our Insights platform is really about enabling our customers to slice and dice the data. Because social data is unstructured data and it's big data. How do you get to the core of the customer conversation? How do you understand the difference between an intent and an action? So what our Insights providers do, they provide enhanced natural language processing that enables you to slice and dice that data and derive meaning. Now, cyber is all about deriving advanced sentiment. And I think I'd like to invite Kato-san back to the stage, who's going to talk to you a little bit more exactly what this means, but in Japanese. Thanks, Kato.
Thank you, Cherry.
Thanks.
Cherry-san, ありがとうございました.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to elaborate on what Charlie mentioned. So advanced new high-level analytics engine. I'd like to show you some slides. So using Insight, you can analyze sentiment. So I'd like to read out this tweet. So I'm looking at, or I'm watching presentation of Salesforce. How much does it cost to use Service Cloud? So this is a tweet. So first of all, Insight recognizes the company name, Salesforce. And the Service Cloud, it's a product name. And another important component is this tweet is, how much is this? So it's a kind of inquiry to Salesforce. So this is the result of analytics. So in the past, all these kind of analytics should have been made by human. However, now Insight can replace that work. And it's not just about that. So another very simple example is this. So Salesforce event is over. So after the seminars, we had a party, and I'm so full. I ate too much. So company name again, and the event, and the reception or party, it's also an event, and I'm full, or I ate too much, it says. So the customer is, or this participant is happy. So not only these elements, but more than 40 different types of sentiments. So the customer is thanking or complaining or questioning or suspicious something. So you can analyze all these different types of sentiments, so more than 40 sentiments the engine that we will be providing can analyze. And on this Marketing Cloud, so we will integrate or we can add the more powerful engines whenever it becomes available. And I'd like to call on the one more the guest, Ken Mando.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. では、ケンにはさ
So Charlie talked about products and the product roadmap for the future. And I'd like to ask Ken to talk about, or I would like to ask several questions.
and advertising environment is going to change.
It's a great question, but before I start, I just realized something.
Okay.
You and I are the only thing that's stopping all these people from having drinks.
Oh, that's
So I'll try and
So-
be brief.
yeah.
So how is marketing changing? I think it's such a fundamental question. We tend to forget that marketing is something that's been going on for many, many years. But what's really changed is just the last 20 years. There's been more change in the last 20 years of marketing than the entire history of marketing, which is incredible if you think about it. And I believe there's three things that are help driving this change. One is the incredible rise of the internet. This internet came along around 1993, the World Wide Web, and I think a lot of you might remember Netscape, the first browser. And then that's when the internet really took off. And what was amazing was how many people got online, and all of a sudden marketers realized there was a new type of marketing, digital marketing. And we still call it digital marketing, which I find amazing that we don't just call it marketing, but we still call it marketing. And that shows you how new this is. And every chief marketing officer and his or her team are still struggling with digital marketing. And that leads to the next point, which is there's been a shift in the balance of media. We used to have one type of media, paid media. And as you mentioned, Kato-san, we have a new type of media, earned media. And as Mark mentioned in his keynote earlier today, that's the social revolution. That's this amazing transformation where we're not just looking at paid media, we have another type of media which is earned, which is really social and really word of mouth if you think about it. The last point that I think is quite fundamental is the idea that technology and marketing are absolutely linked. In the past, marketing was pretty simple. You had print ads, you had radio, you had television, and now we have so many choices with digital marketing. And that's a huge transformation. And technology and marketing are incredibly linked now. And if you're a chief marketing officer and you're trying to unleash the power of your marketing, then you need technology. Technology is the enabler of marketing today.
Okay, I totally agree with you, and thank you for your answer. まさに今
As Ken said, marketing and technology is merging. And that is happening right in front of our eyes. So I have a next question. So this Marketing Cloud. So for how what kind of impact does it have to the enterprise marketers, or how can it be used by the enterprise marketers?
How can Marketing Cloud help marketers?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you did a great job, I think, explaining that. So I'll be brief on that point. But the fundamental thing that I see that's important for a marketer today is having all these tools and all this functionality in one single place, in a unified place, so you don't have to go to all these different point solutions, and therefore your data gets siloed and your metrics get siloed. So what Marketing Cloud does is it puts everything you need into one single place, which is incredible. I think also, as you covered in those 6 points, and I'll just elaborate briefly and maybe summarize, is that the ability to listen is key. You need to know what people are saying about your brand, right? You also want to know what the competitors are saying about you, or what people or consumers or customers are saying about your competitors, because that might give you an insight. And the Marketing Cloud allows you to take an insight and turn it into action, something that you actually can get business ROI from. But the other part of the Marketing Cloud that's key is the content side, the ability to create an engaging content proposition. And social media is all about content, right? Content is what drives conversations. And if we don't have a conversation, then there's really nothing to talk about. It's like, so I think the other element that's key, of course, is the ability to measure it, the ROI, right? What is the return of investment of my social media? The Marketing Cloud answers that question.
Thank you, Ken. まさに今のKenのコメントにあって
Just as Ken said, the Marketing Cloud will be able to listen and will be able to measure the effectiveness and will be able to measure and realize the ROI. So that's how people will be able to leverage on our product. I would like to go on into the next question. So are there any people that's working for an advertising agency or a digital agency? A show of a hand, please, if you're working for an agency. I see. So this is a Marketing Cloud. There were a couple of people that raised their hands. So to the agencies, advertising agencies, there's a possibility that they can use the Marketing Cloud widely as well. So how can the Marketing Cloud specifically help the agencies?
How can Marketing Cloud help agency peoples?
Sure.
Yep.
Agencies, as you know, a very important partner to the Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, and actually, we are from agencies.
Yes, we are. That's the secret. Both Kato-san and I come from in our past lives, the advertising agency. And when I was in the ad agency business, I wish I had the Marketing Cloud. It would have solved a lot of my issues.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah. So we share that common belief. But what's interesting is that sometimes agencies look at Marketing Cloud and they say, wow, how am I going to adjust? I do everything now, custom applications, and Marketing Cloud is actually able to do all this for me. It's able to actually deliver things faster, better, and cheaper. And frankly, that's an advertiser's dream. If I'm buying advertising, I certainly want it faster, I certainly want it better, and I certainly want it cheaper. And what the Marketing Cloud does for an agency, it allows the agency to focus on what's really important. It focuses on the strategy rather than focusing on just the execution. So I think you covered it earlier, the example of the 50 applications that we have in the Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Yeah, so there's 50 applications that help you deliver content in a compelling and social way in a drag-and-drop format. It just takes, 30 minutes to an hour, and you can create a Facebook tab, or you can create open web applets, or social media applications, as we call them. And this allows you to deploy very, very quickly. And if you're in an agency business, you know that time is money. So what the Marketing Cloud does is it actually saves you time. It allows you to have your people focus on the customer, which is really what you want them to be looking at, and not spending time in the weeds in the execution.
Yeah.
That's one example.
And the point you have just raised, the agency people can, focus on strategy. That is fantastic experience for them. Yeah, from, agency standpoint.
That's right, and I'm glad you mentioned the strategy part, because through the listening platform, what was formerly Radian6, is that if you're a strategist at an agency, you can use listening to learn about your customer's brand, to find out what's happening in real time. Let me give you an example. A PR agency is able to monitor, looking at the command center is a great example of how they would do it, and maybe they can find a problem before it becomes a big social media disaster. And that, we've all seen that. You know, social media disasters can happen quickly. The command center type technology allows you to see what's happening in real time and avert a potential disaster. And I think that's every marketer's dream.
Right. That is very kind of best practice, right? Yes. All right. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to having you here.
All right. Thank you.
Ken-san, ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Ken. Now, everything that we've talked about, marketing is moving in the new direction and it is transforming. The social media, and the powers and the mobile powers, all of them is being leveraged. And Marketing Cloud is not just about the use by the marketing, but it can also be used by the agencies or by the production houses. We'll be able to use it in a collaborative manner. So it is a social application with collaboration as a core. At Cloudforce today, not just about the marketing, but we've talked about the innovation, collaborations, and the new ways of work and the applications. I'm sure that you've seen a lot of them. And at the underground campground, it's still open. So I hope that you will be able to get to know about the new products and the new working styles. And I hope that you will be able to take a look at it and go back home. And that is all of the presentation from my end. Thank you, everyone, one more time for joining us today.